Let's talk all things arts on Julie Whitney Scott Presents. Heard only on WGRN 91.9 LP, the Green Renaissance Station. Welcome to Let's Talk All Things Artistic. And we are talking today with some theater people out there. I got a playwright here. She's also a producer. She's a director. I got her assistant director with me today. And I want to introduce everybody out there in my audience to this woman whose name is Jamila Hill, and her assistant director for her new production that's coming out the 1st of April, Miss Nyla. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to Julie Whitney Scott's Presents. And you guys are the first segment of Let's Talk All Things Artistic. That's the new theme that we're doing this year, is I'm just going to talk to people about everything, because everything is art to me. And that's just the way I want to do it. And I, of course, have to start off with my favorite, which is Jamila. Why don't you tell people a little bit first, before we get into your production and what's coming, about who you are and what it is that you do in the art world?
Okay. Yes. So I'm Jamila, and I am a Columbus native of Ohio, and I have been a dancer my entire life. I've done every type of dance: African tap dance, jazz dance, ballet. I went to Fort Hayes Career Center under the direction of China White. And so I learned a lot from her, just about performing and learning about the body and the muscles and things like that. And so I am also a registered nurse. And so after high school, I went into nursing. And so I've been doing nursing for 9 years, while also still dancing on the side, doing something that I love to do, and being a wife and a mother to 4 beautiful children. So I am the writer and director and producer of this new production. And that's something that has been in my soul and in my spirit for so long. Since I was a teenager, actually, I've been a writer. I've always written. And somewhere along the line, I got away from it. So in 2000 and was it 2021, during COVID, it gave a lot of people time to just kind of digress and rethink and focus. There wasn't a lot to do. There wasn't nowhere to go. So I had a pen and I had a paper, and I started picking up where I left off when I was a teenager, and just started writing. And out of that writing became a show. And so here we are.
All right, that's a lot for us to discuss. Now, Mrs. Nyla, why don't you tell us who you are and pronounce your last name? I didn't want to mess it up.
Not a problem at all. My name is Nyla. I am assisting Miss Jamila on this production here. It's my first time with assistant directing, but it's been a joy to learn the craft. What I typically do is I'm mostly a performer, so I sing, I dance, I act, and I play percussion. So it's really nice to step into this new role for me.
So talk to us about the production that's coming on, the name of it, and what inspired you, Jamila, to write it.
The name of this production is called Energy, The Curse of the Family Tree. And the inspiration just comes from personal family issues, but also it talks about and speaks to a lot of different people and their families, right? About the trauma that we all cause each other throughout our entire lives. We are all connected as individuals, and especially as family. We have the same blood, we have the same DNA. And so we have to learn that how strong family is and how important the need for family is. And if we allow issues and traumatic issues to tear us apart, that we cannot grow as a people and as a family. And so that is what this show is inspired by, is just to inspire families to heal and to move on with each other, because it doesn't just affect you, it affects generation after generation after generation, which is why it's called the curse of the family tree.
What you said, I think, is really important. One of the things that we find is that things that happen in our family do causes trauma. And as you said, it's that generational thing that happens. This story, I'm assuming, is about an African American family.
Yes.
And all of us have trauma, no matter who we are, no matter what race we are. But there are some of us that have to deal more with the trauma alone, without support systems or without that extra sympathy or something that we get from others outside of us to help us get through that. So I think that's very interesting. But I want to ask you some more about that. But first, I just want to talk to you, Nyla, as the assistant director for this. And being looks like a young lady. Anybody younger than me is young, but let's go right ahead past that. But talk to me about this play and what it is that you are getting out of it as an assistant director for your first time, and how do you see, and if you see any correlation from what's happening in this play to what you know personally may have happened in your family, or of other families in relationship to how we all are connected in some way and have some type of trauma from our family and our childhood.
Definitely. The show is beautifully relatable. I believe that any person of any nationality, any age group would be able to relate to the story in one way or another. For me personally, it's about that feeling of loss and feeling of expectations that are placed upon me, and feeling that I can't. It's like the sentence of your inner monologue is always I can't, or that's not for me, or that's not supposed to be for me. And ideally, I mean, that's kind of how I felt about stepping into this role was, oh, I can't do that, that's not for me. So a lot of times with the monologue or the inner monologue saying I can't, with the show learned that with the encouragement and the help and the support, that you can achieve. And that is what I believe we are doing with the show. We are achieving, and we are showing something that is truly beautiful.
Jamila, could you talk a little bit about the characters?
Yes. The character, her name is Eve, and I've been working on Eve and working with Eve since I was, like as I said, a teenager, and I started writing her about her, and she is just a teenage girl who just kind of feels lost in between who her family wants her to be and who she wants to be, and who maybe her friends want her to be. Because as a teen, you're just so lost and confused about all these different pieces and parts coming at you all at the same time. And it's like, okay, my family wants me to be this person, my friend wants me to be this person, but who do I want to be? Right? So you are constantly in this battle of life, this struggle within your mind, within yourself. And so this play is really going to show those inner struggles and what they look like in realistic terms, and also what they look like in a fantasy world. And we're going to put that all together so you can kind of see in both ways what you look like from the outside and what you look like from the inside.
How much are you into this?
I think Eve is very much who I was as a teenager, and sort of my thoughts as a teenager. But as this journey goes throughout her life. She basically goes on a journey that I have had to go on in these past 12 years as an adult. Everything the journey that I've had to go on to get to where I am today, the mindset that I had to go through, the change that I had to go through. She goes through that journey and brings it back to her family. And hopefully the journey can allow healing to take place within her and within her family.
Nyla, how close do you relate to any of the characters, if you relate to any? I think that this story, I like what you were saying, Jamila, about the fact that it's a journey that we go through. And one thing is true, as like you said, in teenagers, this is anybody's story, because it's especially any woman or female. And it can also be related to males, because a lot of times people overlook the male part, but males are going through the same thing. They're going through the same thing, only they're going through it as a male. How can I be manly? You know, and do this. I mean, we're running around trying to figure out how to fit into the female role and the role expectations of our parents, you know, and all that. They're also, as males, going through that same cycle. It's as a teenager and stuff. What I want to do, what's happening, how I am. In today's society, these children have the extra burden put on them of trying to not only decide what they want to do and how they want to do it, but who am I? Who do I want to love? Who do I want to be with? You know, how do I want to look? How do I want to dress? So all of these things now, which is a really good thing, because at least you don't have now a lot of youth from the past that's stifled in corners and closets and really going through some stuff, because they can't even say, I don't know who I am, or I don't know what I'm trying to do. You know, I didn't keep that into me. You know, talk to us a little bit with us about that as a young person. How do you see that this story, her energy, relates to any, you know, to that kind of thing? Does it affect you? Do you think, as you're looking at this, what you went through or going through?
I think with society and family, we all feel these expectations and these struggles that are placed upon us. I relate so much to Eve in the present day, but also morely in the fantasy world. I am what people like to call an overthinker. So a lot of the conversations that are had within this fantasy world are a lot of conversations that go on in my own head. I kind of replay out certain situations a lot of times, and to try to find the meaning, so to speak, of why something happened or why a certain thing is going a certain way, so that I would know how to approach it in the real world, which honestly is my personal journey. It's something that I attach to almost every aspect of my life. If there's something that I'm truly struggling with, I will go within myself and have those conversations and kind of play out that moment to better understand how I can be a better person to me and to everyone else.
When people come to see her energy, first place, how did you get the name of that title? That's the first thing I want to ask before I move on. How did you come up with that title?
Well, it was a long journey. Oh my goodness. The name has been changed so much. I initially had a name, and it's funny because was researching Facebook. I already had my name already, and I was so good with it. And then I saw someone else have the same name for her play, and I was like, oh no, it was right here in Columbus, Ohio. And I actually went and supported her, and brought a lot of people over to her show. Actually, they're going to be doing a part 2 in her story. And so actually her son is actually going to be helping me actually with this production as well. He's the stage director, but besides, that's another story. But so I was just going through my brain, okay, what is this story about? Right? Family, but what we are as a people, what we are as a family, what we are as a unit, what we are individually, we are one big bundle of light. That's what we are. We are a star. And what is a star? A star is energy. And so when you look at the species and the race of a human species, of who we are energy. And that's just what we are. We are energy. So every time that you think of something and you maybe you think of a person's name today, oh, I'm thinking about such and such. And that person calls you the next day, or you see that person in the street, right? And you haven't seen them in years. It's energy. We're all connected. And that's what that means, is that we are all connected. So that's where we get energy from.
That's really cool. I like that. Because that happens to me a lot. I'll think about somebody, I haven't seen them or heard them. And then all of a sudden they'll call me or I see them and I'll be like, I was just really thinking about you, or I was just praying about you the other day. You know, you came across my mind and I was just thinking about you. And then whammo, I never connected that. Thank you. That is because it's like, I would, you know, it's like, oh, I got ESP or something or whatever. But it's the energy that we project out there. I really like that. So next time when I tell somebody like, man, you know, I was just thinking about you, I'm gonna say, you know what? Our energy connected out there because I was just thinking about you. So that energy out that we have as that connects us, even though it's like when you have your best friend, you may not see your best friend for a couple of years or whatever, but as soon as you see it, bam, you're right back where you was. It's like you didn't miss a day, you didn't miss anything. You just pick right back up and move with it, you know? So, and that's because of, why, thank you, the energy. And in this particular case, her energy. Yeah, I like that. So tell our audience how they can get tickets to her energy and the dates of the performances.
All right, the dates are April 1st and April 2nd. So April 1st show is at 7 p.m. and the April 2nd show is at 4 p.m. You can get tickets at C-Bus Arts on their website. And you can also go to my Facebook page, Purpose for Movement Performing Arts Company. You can get tickets there. You can go to my website, which is also on the Facebook page. And you can also get tickets at the door.
And what age would you recommend for your audience to come see her energy?
I believe it's appropriate for children, I would say maybe 10 and up, just because they'll have to be able to sit still, right, for a production. So you don't want anything further than that, younger than that, to try to sit through a whole production. So I think it's appropriate for 10 and up.
So before we close, I would like for both of you, and I don't care in which order, to tell us what it is that you would like for the audience to leave with when they leave the theater. What do you want them to have on their mind when they walk out that door after seeing her energy?
Nyla, I'll let you go first.
I would like them to leave with the possibility of encouragement and to reach out to fix any family trauma that they would have, being able to know that they can build that support back, being able to call their family members after the show and go, hey, I miss you. To be able to find the strength within themselves and know who they are.
I would like people to leave this show understanding that you create your reality, that you are so strong and you're so powerful that anything that you touch, you change. And to think that you do not create or you do not change anything, or that you don't stand for anything, that's impossible, because you are energy. you can create. And so I would love people to walk away understanding that and knowing the deepness of who they are inside and the impact they can make to themselves, to their families, and to everyone they come in contact with.
Well, that is wonderful. I personally plan on being in the seats for one of those days and to see her energy. And I want to thank you both for taking your time out, because I know how it is out there trying to do rehearsals and all those type of things, and spending some time with me on Let's Talk All Things Artistic. Thank you for being with me on Let's Talk All Things Art. This is another Mind for God production sponsored event hosted by me, Julie Whitney Scott.